so much for watching Web3 TV. I'm Nicole, and I'm here today with my guest, Geovany, who's very new to the crypto space. We're going to talk a little bit about what brought him in here, who he is, and then also I'm so excited because I get to do a third episode of Crypto Love Line because Geovany recently went through a really bad breakup. Hi, Geovany.
Hello, Nicole. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so we started talking on Twitter because I don't remember exactly, maybe you commented on something of mine and then I saw that your profession was a Vedic astrologer. Is that right?
That is correct. Yep.
Cool. So tell us what that means. What does that mean?
Essentially, a lot of people are more familiar with the Western astrology, especially here in America, hey, what's your sign? Oh, Taurus, Pisces, etc. What that just tells you is the position or the constellation behind the sun the day that you were born. When the sun rose, constellation that was behind it, if it was Taurus, you were born as Taurus, so etc. In Vedic astrology, I just find it to be a little bit more specific. You consider, even in Western astrology, you consider the other planets. However, in my, findings, when you compare, the position of the other planets, as well as the other, little bit more than just the 12 zodiacs, but the 27 constellations behind the zodiac, you can get a little bit more in depth as to what each planet is doing to you and how they affect each person. It's based on your birth chart at the time you were born.
Sure. So that's a really cool thing. I had a couple of years ago looked into the possibility of using astrology and numerology to learn about to trade cryptocurrencies. And I think I told you I tried to buy that book and they pretty much told me it's a great book, but only if you have a background in this. And I know that you've recently started trading cryptos. Have you relied on astrology at all to do that?
I have just recently started to, because when I first got involved with crypto, I wanted to actually learn how to trade crypto before including astrology and getting any kind of, advantage there. So I've been trying to just learn what cryptocurrency is and how it works and trading, kind of get a better understanding. So just recently, I decided, let me got nothing else to do. I'll put some astrology to it. Found a couple of things, little minor things. What happens when Mercury's retrograde, what happens with Saturn's retrograde, and how it affects the charts. And I've been finding some things that are worth noting. I'll give you, for example, Mercury retrograde. As far as I've seen, except for minus one time since 2017, but every Mercury retrograde, the coin goes down, the value, the price goes down during every retrograde.
Wow. Every Mercury retrograde, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's
and I know
3 times a year.
Just about, yeah, 3 times a year. So everyone, there's this thing, Mercury retrograde makes things crazy. There's a lot of fluff behind it. However, if anyone would sit down and see when they happen and see the prices during that time, it just so happens that it works. So,
Do you think that you'll rely on that knowledge as you move more towards trading cryptocurrency, or are you just testing some theories right now?
Right now, I'm testing as much as possible before I say, hey, this is, absolute, which maybe never will be. But as far as even just that, the Mercury retrograde, yeah, I think that's, if I see the pattern there, if it works, I'm gonna go with it, at least until I know, there's a possibility. The only time that it didn't go down was during the boom and back in a few years ago when it almost hit 20,000. That was the only time that the retrograde didn't affect too much. It did a little bit, but not too much. But there's other factors that go into the play. I'm not going to count on astrology 100% and forget all indicators and stuff like that. So, it's a learning curve. I'm kind of finding my way there.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, like I said, I think that it would be so unique to do like a crypto trading video or like charts that are next to some astrological charts that you have. Like, I think that would be such a cool thing for if you were going to start an Instagram or something like that. So, and really unique because as far as I know, nobody's doing it yet.
Eventually, hopefully the goal would be to create an indicator out of it so that kind of makes the work a little, pre-cut.
Yeah.
For those interested who just want to try it out, and see how that goes. If astrology is real, right?
Well, it's real. All right,
sure.
cool. Cool. All right. So, crypto love line. I've explained it before and said that it's kind of just everybody who works in this like space or whatever has a unique contribution that they can make. One thing that I am really good at is interpersonal relationships. So this is just like one thing that I think that I can bring to the cryptocurrency sphere. And you know, there are always guys writing about how crypto makes them fight in their relationships. So that's kind of where it came from. And so before we go into you telling me your breakup story, I really want to address this question about something that you said on Twitter, saying that anybody who knows you in real life should totally understand why that show You on Netflix is your favorite television show. So You is a show about a guy who seems like this nice loving boyfriend but is actually like very sick and potentially even has dissociative identity disorder, which is multiple personalities. So tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, in the show, the main character Joe, his view on things is, I'm gonna love this woman. I'm gonna do what it takes to make it work. You know. Now in the show, he's a bit, he's a sadist. I'm not a sadist by any means. I don't, want to harm anybody, but I understand the psychology of it, and I can relate to it. There's certain things. I can give an example. In relationships, things happen where you can reach close to this breaking point of can't go further with this, and there's a lot of factors that go into play whether you continue the relationship or whether it's the end of it. um, I guess I have a lot of understanding in those situations. you know when my most previous relationships started, it wasn't in the best position, something that maybe should have been cut off in the beginning. um, but I saw through a lot. I thought that there was still possibilities, still a chance. I think that with enough effort and time, the most of it will spring. As far as Joe as well, he's doing the most to make it work.
Okay.
He's wanted to do the most. The only thing that I don't agree with, though, big time, was at the end, once he found somebody who accepted him for who he was. He still, I don't want to spoil it, or spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the ending of season 2, but
Yes,
he
anybody? Yeah, I haven't seen it's okay though. I don't mind. Go ahead.
he sees someone else. He like sees somebody else and in vision and says, "Oh, hello, you," like another person. Which for me, no, if you find that one, you're happy. Like, stop.
So
Other than that,
in the case in Joe, like, you know, we're talking about somebody who is very clearly a narcissist, and narcissists like have the uncontrollable, like, really it's, you know, they say that it comes from deep-seated insecurities with about oneself. So it's not even because he doesn't get enough from the person who he's with, it's because he has to get more now, because like, yeah, what used to be where it's just like it's an endlessly unfulfilled state of being.
right. Well, as far as when they dive into Joe's background in the past, I've had similar.
Mhm.
As far as father not being there, relying most on my mother, who I love my mother. She's my best friend now, but at the time it wasn't always the family environment per se. So I think that had a big impact in my psychology, and I can tell now that I'm older, I can see that, where you're searching for love. I mean, you imagine a child with no parents and like no real connection. You grow up thinking someday I'll have that. You know.
Yeah.
So do I think that I am not in this chase of never being satisfied by it? Could be. I don't think that I've been in super deep where I'm like, yeah, this is it. I've had relationships before. I was in a relationship for about 8 years, and even after that, I was faithful and loyal and all. But just, you're right. I guess I didn't see. I wanted more. Um, in the most previous relationship, just now, I felt like it wasn't going anywhere, and absolutely, I wanted more for sure. Um,
Well, at least you ended it instead of just taking up something on the side, right?
yeah. To me, that's not an option. Like, whatever is real. It's not just, I don't know, something temporary. So for me,
Okay.
there's no interest there.
Well, that's at least one step up from Joe then.
At least one. Yeah.
All right. So now can you tell me your story? Because when we were talking, when we were chatting on Twitter the other night, you were telling me that it had something to do, your most recent breakup had something to do with crypto, right? or
It did.
your perspective on crypto was slightly different? Because I know that I made you read, I requested that you read a couple of pieces that I've written about crypto relationships, and then I sent you those video links. So yeah,
So
tell me your story.
it did. I got involved in cryptocurrency. I started with Robinhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just, making a few trades kind of for fun and seeing how it can do. And, I was trying to do it live, like trading. So I'm giving it attention. And at first, I got from the feedback from my partner was, you're wasting your time. So Bitcoin is already dead. Like you should have gotten it in the beginning. It's too late now. It's all kinds of, it was her way of giving constructive criticism and telling me to be careful, telling me not to get my hopes up and stuff like that, which I understand. But it was never like, well, maybe there's a chance. Maybe you can do good in this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how the dynamics began when I started trading. Later on, I opened up and I told her, I was like, hey, this is something that I think I'm really interested in. I kind of want to go a little bit further. I got off Robinhood, started doing trading on Binance, using TradingView, using actual indicators, and kind of putting more on the line. For her, it was taking time away. It was me wasting my time when I could be doing other things. I have a full-time job, so it's not that we're not losing our house because I'm getting involved in anything like that. But for her, she didn't see the why in it. She just thought it was like something for me to do. I honestly believe that if I take it further enough, like relationships, I guess, that I can get to that state where I'm a day trader, where this is how I make a living.
Yeah, no, definitely. There definitely are a lot of people who do that for a living really well, and a lot of bots that are trained to do it much better than the humans who are doing it are. That's why we were looking into the possibility of doing a noob versus pro crypto trading episode. So if anybody watching this is a trader, professional cryptocurrency trader, or professional trader of any kind, or you know someone, please let them know. I'm going to reach out to some people too. I've already sent a couple of emails. It's Monday.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I wish the best of luck in that.
Yeah, no, I think that would be fun, right?
Absolutely.
See the differences in the ways that people who have been doing this for a long time professionally would do things and learn from it.
And that's a great benefit. I mean, it would be naive to say, oh, I can dive into this game and make it to the top in no time by myself with no help. Like that's so I think anyone who's interested in, or who's wanting to be serious about it, should consider some type of mentorship or learning, and from the people that already do it, people that are already successful in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right, so it was really just that your girlfriend, she was just not interested, even when you told her that it was important to her, or sorry, that it was important to you and that it was something that you wanted to continue doing. She was just kind of like, no, this is stupid.
Eventually, once I told her that, hey, having support, or her support for it, was meaningful to me. It's a big deal. Then she kind of came around to, I do support you, and to, I believe in it. Once I showed her more of how it actually works as well, when she understood more, I said, hey, this is what I'm looking at, not just, and she kind of got involved to the point where she wanted to do it as well, right? She said, well, but it was more so, I'll do it once, I'm successful in something else, or kind of like I do it, because it's fun, where I want to do it because I want to take it serious. I want to, not to, sacrifice much of my life in order to get involved in it just yet, I didn't expect it would, and it's not the only reason why the relationship didn't work out either. There were other reasons back. Sure. Aside from crypto, we had our own challenges already, underlying issues before that. It's not that crypto was what broke the relationship.
Sure.
It just so happened that it was around the time that, as I'm getting into crypto and I'm giving cryptocurrency more of my attention, because she felt it was being taken away from her. Now, people can take that both ways. I'm not saying I paid attention for hours and ignored her. That's not what happened either. I'm not saying they looked at it for 30 seconds and she was crying about it either. So
Did you
then,
need to pause movies so that you could check the price of crypto?
no,
Okay,
no,
see,
no.
yeah, that's where it becomes a little different of a problem.
Yeah, no. It was more so, if, you know, another thing is we have a child together.
Hmm.
So my son is 1 year old. He was born on Christmas in 2018. And so when the baby's asleep, when things are like, we're not doing nothing else, why not? It was spare time.
Hmm.
But where we lived at the time, it was kind of not too big of a space. We're kind of always around each other. So for her, it was like awkward, if I'm just on my phone, even though she would be on her phone and other stuff. It was, it was a bunch of other stuff as well. We had issues with, but, she's a great person. I don't think I'm a bad person per se. I'm not Joe exactly.
Okay, so you weren't like duplicating her cell phone and tracking her every location?
So there was, there was a time, for example, I added her to my family on Apple so that we can have shared albums and photos, Apple Music and stuff, where, we did have our locations on.
Hmm.
And it did get to that point where I was checking her location and she was saying that she would be here and this. She would do the same. It's not like I was trying to hide anything or she was trying to hide anything, but there were times like, hey, babe, what are you doing? Oh, I'm at Burger King. But she would only tell me that because I saw it or, just an example, because she would know that I know, you know. I never did anything like show up with the mask on or with the hat on, trying to hide nothing like that. To me, that's a bit far. But I get the psychology of it. When you give someone your all, you kind of expect it as well. And when you find out it's a lie here, a lie there, then you start to wonder. Or at least I do start to wonder how far does it go? How deep is this lie? You know, um, I don't put anything past anyone. So it's kind of trust issues formed after the trust was broken at some point because I'm not like that in the beginning. In the beginning, I trust 100%. But I think if people have reason to inquire further, they should, or just walk away, And again, I didn't want to walk away. I wanted the best for us. So.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, at least though, what you're saying is that you didn't track her location without her consent because she knew that Find Your Phone or that Find My Friends was on. Your locations were turned on to each other. That is definitely another step up. Congratulations. All right, what do you think you'll do differently next time?
I think a lot of it came from our lives revolved around each other more than healthy level, Um, in this relationship, I didn't see my friends much, except for, if we had fights and stuff. We were too involved too soon as well. We started dating maybe 3 years ago. In that 3 year time span, we had a child and we got married.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely not doing that again,
So take it slow.
Take it slow and just not let it mean so much so soon.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I know, looking back at myself and how I was brought up, that I do have this heart on the sleeve thing about me, and it doesn't work out. I don't think it's meant to. I think it's meant to teach you a lesson so you get past that, and I think that's where I'm at.
All right, very cool. All right, so if anybody wants to come and find you, what is your handle on social media?
On Instagram, I'm iWalkEast.
Okay.
Same as the sound. On Twitter, _Geo Rojas.
Sorry, can you spell it?
GOGEO, and my last name is ROJAS.
Geo Rojas on Twitter. Okay. Well, thanks so much for doing this. Is there anything else that you really just want to share? I mean, I know that you're new to the crypto community, so maybe say hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone. I definitely have, been wanting to get out more and meet more people in the cryptocurrency space, and have a lot of understanding because I have a lot of enormous respect for it. I think Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is a revolution, like, probably maybe for sure the biggest revolution in my lifetime that I've seen happen in front of me since the Wall Street one that happened a few years ago.
Yeah, the collapse of the financial system.
Yeah, we're exactly.
Yeah. Well, a lot of us feel the same way. Here for the revolution, and extra money is nice. right?
Yeah. In the meantime, yeah, if I can make some money along the way and support it and do my part in the cause, absolutely looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here. Geovany Rojas, I'm Nicole. This has been another episode of Crypto Loveline on Web3 TV, and I'll be right back. Thank you.